While everyone out there is arguing over basic chatbots, Anthropic just built a secret, unreleased frontier AI that is so dangerous, they literally had to lock it away from the public. It's called Claude Mythos. And look, Anthropic just dropped their official one-month battle report for Project Glasswing, and honestly, the numbers are absolutely terrifying. In just 30 days, this single AI autonomously rooted out over 10,000 critical security flaws in the very foundation of the internet. It was finding bugs that had survived decades of human review. It's actually so powerful at hacking that human developers are literally begging Anthropic to shut it down simply because they cannot patch the bugs fast enough. So today, we're doing an explainer on the true story of the world's most gate-kept AI.
Human developers are literally begging Anthropic to shut it down. You know, that sounds like a line straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this isn't science fiction. This is the very real situation detailed in the official battle report for a highly restricted initiative known as Project Glasswing. We're essentially watching a monster-in-the-box thriller unfold in real time. Anthropic quickly realized they had created something so phenomenally capable, something so disruptive to global network security, that they had to immediately pull the plug on public access. Because right now, developers are just completely drowning in its output.
Okay, let's move right into Section 1, the true identity of Mythos, behind the gates of Project Glasswing.
So you're probably wondering, what specific threshold did this model cross to get locked in a digital vault? Well, Claude Mythos Preview is an unreleased, general-purpose frontier model engineered by Anthropic. Now, it was initially designed just for high-level reasoning. But here's the absolute kicker. Its coding capabilities reached this critical threshold where it didn't just learn to write better code, it developed unprecedented, hyper-advanced cybersecurity skills. We're talking about the ability to analyze complex software behavior, discover completely invisible zero-day vulnerabilities, and most terrifyingly, autonomously chain them together to create functional end-to-end exploits. Basically, it's high-level reasoning transformed into the ultimate autonomous hacking weapon. And because literally no company currently has safeguards strong enough to prevent a Mythos-class model from being weaponized by malicious actors, Anthropic strictly banned it a public release, no exceptions. Instead, they locked it behind Project Glasswing. This is a gated research initiative that grants highly restricted access only to select tech giants, open-source maintainers, and defense networks. And that access, it's granted solely for defensive patches. It is kept in a cage, allowed only to help us fix the walls it already knows exactly how to tear down.
All right, let's get into Section 2, Shattering Uncrackable Systems, the 30-day battle report.
Back in May 2026, Anthropic released this staggering 245-page system card. And I gotta tell you, the numbers completely shatter our illusions about secure systems. Over 10,000 in its very first 30 days of testing across roughly 50 enterprise partners and 1,000 open-source code repositories, Mythos discovered a jaw-dropping avalanche of over 10,000 high or critical severity vulnerabilities. Just pause for a second and think about the sheer scale of that. Thousands of foundational flaws laid completely bare by a single AI in just 1 month. It's mind-blowing.
To really grasp the depth of this capability, consider this number: 27 years. Mythos scanned OpenBSD. And for those who might not know, OpenBSD is historically celebrated as one of the most security-hardened, intensely human-audited operating systems on the planet. It's the gold standard for secure infrastructure. Well, Mythos autonomously exposed a 27-year-old security flaw. This is a flaw that successfully hid in plain sight, surviving decades of rigorous human review and automated fuzzing tests. And Mythos, it found it like it was absolutely nothing. But wait, it actually gets crazier. 5 million misses. The AI analyzed FFmpeg, which is the framework that powers video encoding for pretty much the entire internet. Deep within its architecture, Mythos found a 16-year-old critical bug in a specific line of code. Get this, automated human testing scripts had successfully run over that exact line of code and missed the bug 5 million times. 5 million blind spots for our best automated tools, but just one instant discovery for Mythos. Let's break down exactly how it attacks, using the Linux kernel as an example. Here is the terrifying anatomy of an exploit. Step 1. Mythos analyzes massive, incredibly complex software behavior. Step 2. It identifies separate, seemingly unrelated low-level flaws that human engineers just wouldn't think twice about. Step 3. It autonomously chains those vulnerabilities together. It figures out how to make flaw A trigger flaw B, creating this perfect sequence. And finally, step 4. It uses that chain to create an active exploit that escalates a normal user profile into complete root machine takeover. Total control, achieved entirely autonomously, with zero human intervention.
Moving on to Section 3, the Real-World Battle Report. Partners, production, and financial defense.
So, what actually happens when you plug this AI into elite enterprise environments? Well, before we look at the partners, you really have to understand this massive generational leap in coding capabilities. Just look at the SWE bench-verified leaderboards. Anthropic's former flagship, Claude Opus 4.6, was sitting at a very respectable 80.8%. Mythos, it shattered global software engineering records, hitting an unprecedented 93.9%. And on the even harder SWE Bench Pro, it jumped from Opus's 53.4% all the way up to 77.8%. I mean, it leaves the former flagship completely in the dust. It's playing a totally different game.
And that immense benchmark power translates directly into tangible partner victories. Mozilla used Mythos to audit Firefox, and it found and patched 271 vulnerabilities in a matter of weeks. That's over 10 times the amount they caught using previous automated AI models. Cloudflare integrated it into their massive infrastructure and immediately uncovered 2,000 hidden software bugs, 400 of which were high or critical severity threats. And over in the financial sector, during a live business transaction testing environment, a partner bank had Mythos autonomously flag and intercept an active, live $1.5 million wire fraud attempt. Across browsing, infrastructure, and real-time finance, the impact is just staggering.
So, the crucial takeaway here is that we have built an incredible defender. It's catching things we never, ever could. But this leads us to a very grave, very real concern. What happens when AI outpaces human hands? Because, as it turns out, finding a bug is only half the battle.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Human Defense Bottleneck, a paradigm shift in global cybersecurity.
See, the big breaking tech news of May 2026 isn't just that an AI can find flaws. It's that humans are now the critical bottleneck. Anthropic explicitly warned us that the fundamental constraint of cybersecurity has entirely flipped. Historically, our security relied on how fast we could find the bugs before the bad guys did. Finding them was the hard part. Now, Mythos can scan an entire company's infrastructure and literally drop 500 critical 0 days on an engineering team's desk in 5 minutes. We used to struggle to find a needle in a haystack. Now, the AI is burying us under a mountain of needles.
And the immediate, real-world crisis from this is severe. As a direct result of this massive velocity, human developers are suffering extreme burnout. They're trying to verify, responsibly disclose, and manually write patches for a relentless flood of automated AI reports, and they simply cannot verify and write patches fast enough. Cybersecurity experts are sounding the alarm here. If a model like Mythos leaks out of Project Glasswing, or if it's replicated by rival nation-states, the sheer speed and volume of automated AI attacks would instantly and completely overwhelm human defenders. We'd be defenseless, not because we lack the knowledge, but because we just lack the speed.
Which leaves us with this final, chilling thought to close out our explainer today. If the ultimate hacker is already here, locked in a box, analyzing millions of lines of code a second, are we genuinely ready for a world where humans are no longer the problem solvers, but actually the weakest link in the chain? Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. Really think carefully about this the next time you hear about AI safety, because the future of cybersecurity isn't human, it's autonomous.